brief. Hi, everybody. My name is Lisa Douglass-Doe. I've been friends with Mark and Shavita for over 13 years now. And what I want to do is talk about making real estate a reality for everybody, okay? Because it is possible. You're going to hear the ups and downs because it's not always perfect, but we can make it happen. I'm Lisa Douglass-Doe. I'm a leadership and life coach. I'm certified through the John Maxwell program. I've been in HR for over 20 years, so I have an HR background. I've been married for 28 years. My husband's not here. He's at home with our son, but he would have been here, but, you know, they didn't want to come out today, so. But we're here with the girls, so I'm the girl. So I want to thank my sisters for coming, my good friend Natasha came with her daughters, and I just want to say, Alfred, you talking about that college experience is important because our daughters are going to college this year, so I think that was great information. You didn't even know, and just pour it into them, I think was awesome, so thank you.
Thank you.
And just some of my background. So we're going to dig into the real estate piece, but my husband and I have been business owners over time. I work in corporate, but what I want to focus on today is real estate. So let's go to the next slide. So why real estate? Well, we have 17-year-old twins, and as you just heard, one is about to go to college. And we sat down one day a few years ago. We was like, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to pay for this? We need an expedited plan, right? So we had been real estate investors years ago, did pretty good, but then I had like a bad experience. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not doing real estate anymore. But we can't let one bad nightmare ruin your dream, right?
Right.
And we all go through that. We're like, oh, we get gun-ho over stuff, and then we stop because we had one bad experience or one challenge came up. But that's okay. You just get back on the horse. We have a son that has special needs, so he'll be home with us for a while. So we really wanted to double down and make sure that my daughter has the money to go to school. And I also want to retire early. I don't want to be working until I'm like 65, 70 years old. I mean, if I want to, great, but I want to have the option. Everyone say option. Option. You want to have the option to be able to do that if you want to. You'll see some pictures on here. My dad, as a matter of fact, is a funeral director in Baltimore, and he is still working. He's 75. Yes, he loves it, but I think it's because he didn't really save well, to be honest. We're going to be transparent. You guys open to that? Yeah. So, because it's not just my dad. I'm sure we have some other family members who are still working. And what's funny is that I always giggle my dad and his wife. I'm like, man, you guys are like these new age grandparents, never home, always working. I need you to watch these grandkids. Y'all not available. He's like, we got stuff to do. We're going here, we're going there. I'm like, oh. But that's neither here or there. So I want to be able to retire my dad because I think he feels like he still has to work. And I just want to help my extended family. Yes, we have a family of 4, but I have siblings. My brother's not in this picture, but I have my sisters here, my brother, and I want us all to be able to win. That's one thing in our culture. I don't know if y'all are hearing me. In our culture, sometimes we just do one thing and we'll try to keep it to ourselves. We can't do that. We got to be able to lift back and help other people along the way. That's what other cultures do. And I know some of y'all know, people all live in one apartment, so they raise enough money and they're buying a store. They're sending money back home to other countries. We should be able to do that too, so that we don't have to wait for government handouts or anything like that. Who agrees with me? Yeah. Awesome. All right, next. So I want to tell you guys, this has been a journey because just quickly, I remember going to school, going to college. My husband and I met at Syracuse University. And as soon as you come on campus in the bookstore, there's a bunch of credit card applications. I was like, oh, shoot, let me fill this out. Let me fill that out. Not knowing that my mom was not going to pay the bill. I remember graduating with all this debt. And she was like, what you going to do? I was like, you going to help me, right? She was like, no. So my credit was shook. It was messed up. It took time to rebuild it. But I wanted to show you guys an example. My lowest score, you probably can't see it from there, but it's the same bill, was 480 something. This was in 2018. This wasn't that long ago. I was feeling mighty low. I was like, I can't let that happen. It was, and 771. I mean, it's now 741. 741. Okay? But I had to make a decision. Yes, we owned a home we bought our primary residence in 2002. And then, things happen, you buy stuff, your credit's going up and down. So if anybody's in this room and they're thinking, oh, my credit today is messed up, you can turn it around. It doesn't take years to turn it around, okay? So I just want to say there is an option. You can go up from wherever you are. Next slide. So I was so into educating myself about credit. I had a credit coach. Then I got certified. I was like, I want to learn this. I want to help other people in my family. My brother's now in over the 700 range because everything I learned, I told him. And I said to him, you need to get real estate too. At first, he wasn't interested. But then, a friend tells you, he calls me up, Lisa, you know what? I should buy some real estate. I said, I told you the same thing just a couple of years ago. But sure, I'll support you. Boom. Helped him. And now he has multi-family properties in the Bronx, where we grew up, where I was like, man, this stuff is expensive in the Bronx. It wasn't this high back when we were growing up. He has his own property, plus he has real estate investment as well. So, in 2019, I really wanted to educate myself more in real estate. So I invested in one program. Guys, I'm telling you guys how much money because it was ridiculous. I shouldn't have done it. It was $25,000. I was like, yeah, but these people know what they're doing. I want to learn. And all I can say is I can learn from the experience. I didn't get anything out of it. I just wasted all that money. That's bad, right? Because that would have taken a lot of people out. But later in the year, I connected with someone else who I felt they had better integrity. I really wanted to work with them. And their program was only $1,000. And it was tangible. I was seeing results literally within weeks. So I was like, okay, I'm glad I'm going to stick with this. Next slide. So I created a new LLC because we had our primary residence, so I wanted to work on investment property. Created an LLC in November 2019. Connected with a realtor and hard money lenders in 2020, and then the pandemic hit. And I was like, oh boy, what's gonna happen? So it took me a while to find the right thing. And who's trying to be a first-time owner for the first time? Anybody? Okay. And who else already owns property but may be thinking about investing things in the future? All right, awesome. So what's nice is we have both in the room. So even when you're connecting with people, if you don't feel a connection with people, you don't have to work with them, guys. Like, you have to be able to say no, even though you may feel, oh, I don't want to hurt their feelings. Hurt their feelings. Don't get stuck in something if you don't feel good about it. I just want to make sure everyone is aware of that, okay? And you have great people that are coming after me to connect with and help you. And then throughout the process, I learned how to build business credit as well, so that way I didn't have to always use my own cash when I wanted to invest in property. That was in 2021. Next slide. So I'm going to show you some quick examples. So this property, I was an out-of-state investor. I purchased in Chicago. The gentleman that I invested with that was coaching me, he had a whole team in Chicago. So he was allowing us to use his team. I was like, this is great. I never went to this property, nothing. So I bought this property. It was a beautiful single-family home. It was for $122,000. Then the pandemic hit, and we had to get permits. And it took months. This was supposed to be like a 6 to 9 month flip. It took me 2 years to get out of this property because the offices were closed, the permits couldn't get approved. But guess what's happening? I have to still pay the mortgage. I can't let it go because then I lose the property, right? But I stayed focused and was able to sell the property I bought it in December 2020 and sold it in December 2022 and made a nice profit. I bought it for $122 and sold it for like $378. Yeah. So it was a nice profit there. It was a great profit margin, but there was still like rehab costs and stuff in there, but we made some good money on that one. Next slide. This is the one that Shanita and I did together. That she was talking about. Yeah, I called her up. Come on, let's do it. So we, again, partnered in another real estate deal through a program. And this was more of a passive investment where you have the funds and you don't have the time to get the general contractor and stuff. They do all the work for you. You just invest a certain dollar amount and then they show you a return on your investment over a period of time. So Shanita and I did this one together in July of 2021, and they fixed it up. Everything was great. They kept us informed. We could see the progress, and then the market turned. And so they weren't able to sell it in the time frame that they expected. And what I liked about this company is that they contacted Shanita and I and said, hey, we want to give you back your investment plus give you 10% for your time because we're unable to sell it in the time frame we promised you. So we were like, how fast did we sign that paperwork? So we did make money on this one. Next slide. This one was in Ohio. Then again, I did a joint partnership with one of my good friends. She lives in Charlotte. I live in New Jersey, and we had been through the same program together. And she was like, you know what? I feel more comfortable if we do something together. I said, let's do it together. So we created our own LLC. We purchased the property in Chicago. It's a nice single family. We purchased it for $120,000. The rehab was done in 4 months. The guy was great general contractor. And we sold it for $235,000, and we were able to split our profits there. So we bought it in November of 2021, and we sold it in October of 2022. So it took a little bit longer, but it's okay. It was just getting those reps in, getting experience. Next slide. So then I talked to my brother, and I was like, hey, I think we should buy something together. And he was like, I already have my own stuff going on over here. I was like, wait, something came my way. It's a single family home for only $55,000. Like, hey, guys, think about it, $55,000? I was like, we got to do this. He's like, what do we? I said, don't worry, just give me some of the money. We're good. Got to get the money, right? I'll take care of the rest. So I created an LLC. We purchased this one cash. So that means it's all profit right now. If I need to tap in it for equity, we can. But the cash flow on this is $780 a month. Nice. Okay? Next slide. And then this last one is, I was telling Natasha, I don't know, sometimes it's risky, I'm crazy, but I connected with someone on social media, a person who is a realtor, but she also had great, like over 20 years of experience, and I just liked her values and so on. I said, I would invest with this young lady. And she was telling me about opportunities in Milwaukee. I've never been to Wisconsin in my life. And in February, I was like, yeah, I'd like to buy this one. She's like, okay, I can tell you another way to purchase. For those who are already primary homeowners, you can buy it as a second home and only put down 10%. Because when you're an investor, you usually have to put down 20%, right, Keisha? So I said, okay, I'm going to buy this as a second home, purchase it, and only put down 10%, which is like $8,000. Think about how sometimes you got 10, 20 grand away, and you're thinking, oh, I don't have enough. I put down $8,000, and this one is being rehabbed right now, but the rent that I'm going to get on this one, we plan on going through the Section 8 program, is going to be $1,400 a month. And the mortgage is around $850.
All right, now.
So that could be money to put towards college, right? So next slide. So what are my particular goals for 2024 is to get into some more rental property. I spoke to my accountant. He was like, you need more tax deductions. I was like, what do I need to do? He was like, get some more rental property. I said, okay. So I reconnected with, I have another sister. She lives in Atlanta, and she's been wanting to invest in real estate. She's never purchased before. And so we were driving together in the before the holidays, and she's like, do you still do real estate? I was like, yeah. So I was telling her, I said, you should do it. You know, we should probably invest in Baltimore because that's where I was actually born, and she lived there for years. So she knows the area. I don't really know the area. She's like, can we do it? Would you do it with me? I said, of course. I said, if I could do it with my good friends, I could do it with my family members. So this past week, we set up a new LLC in Maryland. The two of us are on it. And we're going to start investing in Baltimore, Maryland. It's really a good time right now to invest there. And she already put us in contact with the realtor. If you are looking to be a real estate investor, make sure you work with a realtor who actually has experience as an investor. The worst thing you could do is invest with a realtor they want to help you get the real estate property, which is great, but they've never invested. Does that make sense? Because then they'll know the journey that you are gonna have to go down yourself, so they can walk you through that path. Obviously, if it's your first time home, yes, realtors definitely can help you all, whether they own a home or not. But I mean, as an investor, it's just a little bit of a different experience. Would you agree, TJ?
Yes.
Thank you. Right, Sheila, thank you. And I also want to help my family members sitting over here to also get them to buy this year as well. So I'm glad they came so they can connect with Shadida, with Keisha, so that way they can get their questions answered and things of that nature. And my goal is just to have some cash flow of like $3,000 a month for the year. That's my target, so that way we can put it towards different expenses. So think about a property and having a cash flow and what bill you would love to have that thing paid off. Think about what your car note is right now. Imagine having some other income to pay that car note, and you don't have to have that money coming out your bank account anymore. So, next slide. So, how can I help you? Next slide. I just wanted to say here, I'm here as a resource. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to mingle, all of us. We'd be happy to talk to you guys about it, encourage you as a coach. I welcome everyone to follow me on social media. Feel free to take out your cell phones, go to YouTube, and just go to my YouTube channel. I provide information on life coaching, leadership, and from time to time I also share real estate stories as well. So that's it. Thank you.